mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Peace, 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 peace. Greetings. Happy Holy Friday. We're back again. Another Bbt Book Club reading. I'm your host, Noble Moso L. And we'll be back reading, continuing with the book we started last week, Volume 1, The Moorish Paradigm. Atlantis Will Rise Again by Hakeem Bey. And if you'd like to get this book or any other books, you can reach out to me personally at mayatsons@gmail. And you can also check out herbsofmayat.com, along with our other book sites, mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z. We also have bindedbooks.com if you'd like a physical copy of this book. Excuse me, just trying to set up some other things for you to see the email. That's MAATSONS@gmail. With no further ado, I will continue where we left off on page 22. Scroll down a little. And it begins in the book Mysteries of the Americas. It says, with regards to the pyramids and large complexes that we built in the Americas, the sheer tonnage of earth removed, of rock transported and carved, of bricks dried in the sun, never fails to astound the observer. In Mexico alone, there may be as many as 100,000 pyramids still waiting to be uncovered. This is why we need to train and field our own archaeologists. The extent of our building here in Northwest Africa, a Mexam, is astounding. To the right, as you can see, scattered all through North America along the Old Man, which is the Mississippi River, and its tributaries, are found mounds built out of millions of tons of earth. The people who built them are referred to as the mysterious mound builders. These mound builders are the same descendants of the Phoenicians, the Canaanites, the Moabites, and Hamitic people. as were the Olmec. In this hemisphere, the mound and pyramid cities were part of a vast civilization and trade network that spanned from Alaska to Peru, as well as throughout the world. The ancient and modern Moors were the masters of the seven seas and all trade. Prophet Nobuju Ali said, "The Moors were once a seafaring people and fed the world." To the right here is a head that was carved by the mysterious Cole people of the Hopewell Mound builders in Ohio. It is a portrayal of an ancestral figure used as an offering. Prophet Nobuju Ali said the Moors were living up and down the Mississippi River before the European man came here. Right here is a basalt mask found in northern Canada. This is made from the same material as the Olmec head shown earlier. This is a Mississippian effigy head jar. Notice the facial scarification. This is the same as found in West Africa to this day. We are the same people on both sides of the Atlantic. The Atlantic Ocean is, as it were, a giant cosmic mirror. The cultures on both sides are almost identical. And I can definitely attest to that, being that I've traveled to West Africa, Senegal, Mauritania, and those areas. You'll see brothers and sisters who look identical to people we know in the Americas from the East Coast. So it's definitely, our bloodlines are in directly to Northwest Africa, as Prophet Nobuju Ali stated in the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple. And just when you're a historian and a traveler, you'll understand that, as it's saying, these cultures mirrored each other, and even the lands were connected at one point. So it only makes sense. This is an effigy stone pipe of the mound builders. Smoking from these pipes was sacred and had ritual significance. Pipes were found at mound building sites by the thousands. In these pipes, they smoked tobacco, cannabis, and other sacred herbs. Here is another mound builder artifact. Again, notice the large earrings, just like those worn by the Olmecs, Mixtecs, Mayans, Egyptians, Africans, Phoenicians, Canaanites, etc. This statue can pass as an African artwork in any art gallery, which just shows the bloodline and the richness of the culture and the heritage. To the left, these are two Ottawa fur traders. This was painted at Fort Michilimackinac in the Upper Michigan in the 1700s. At this early date, they still had their original dark skin and woolly hair. Right here is a map of the Ben Ishmael tribe, which is one of the main tribes that the Moorish Science Temple and Moors of America agree that many of our people stem from. It's showing the annual migration triangle. You can even see when you look closer, it has the words Morocco, Mohammed, Mecca. This is all within Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. This is a map of the migration route of the Ben Ishmael tribe. The Ben Ishmael were a collection of Lenape, also known as Delawares, Nanticokes, Iroquois, and other tribes from the eastern seaboard who were displaced by the Europeans in the 1700s and 1800s. These were those who refused to integrate into white society. These so-called Indians were actually Moors, as it can be seen by their name, Ben Ishmael, and their migration route from places they named Morocco, Mohammed, and Mecca, which further confirms the fact that they were Moors. Their name and the names of their migration route does not sound very much like those used by Indians, as we were taught. The parts of Indiana and Illinois where they settled are now so-called black areas or ghettos presently. Remember the Jackson 5 song, I'm Going Back to Indiana. Perhaps they are descended from the Ben Ishmael tribe. The descendants of the Ben Ishmael were some of the earliest members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Many were descendants of the Lenape, or so-called Delaware Indians, and Nanticokes. In the essay entitled Nanticoke Moor Folk Medicines, these people referred to themselves as Moors. They are still some to this day in parts of Delaware who refer to themselves as Moors. The government kept classifying them as Negroes, which they fought against tooth and nail, not because they did not like who they were, but precisely because they knew and loved who they were and knew the inferior status conferred by the slave label Negro. And this word Negro goes back to Spain and Portugal and the Spanish Inquisition. Ferdinand and Isabella. And so Negro is and was always a very derogatory term that no one should be using or identifying as, because it has no status, no nation, no culture connected to it. Now here is a Wampanoag Aboriginal from the New England, Connecticut area of the United States. They have recently won back a great deal of land, along with many other Aboriginals in the Northeast. This is because of the little-known law that was passed in the 1795, stating that the federal government official had to be present in all purchases of Aboriginal lands. If one was not present, the sale was considered null and void. Many of those on the eastern seaboard have won back land as a result of this little-known law. Some have built the largest and most profitable casinos in the United States. This document here, titled Morocco in America, says Casablanca, August 16th. America was discovered by Moroccans 1,000 years before Christopher Columbus. Wrote Catholic Digest in an article which was reproduced Thursday by the Moroccan Daily. There's a little, I'm going to read down here because it's a lot easier to read. This document was given to me by Brother Bob Day L. Bay. It is from the Permanent Mission of Morocco in New York. It is an article relating how Moors came to New England in the 3rd century AD, in the area where the brother in the previous picture is from. The article says that Moroccans discovered America over 1,000 years before Columbus. Thus, the Moroccans in Africa are aware of the Moorish connection to America. With regards to Moors being in New England, where the first Europeans came, David McRitchie says in a book, Ancient and Modern Britons, which is a very great book that we offer as well, Ancient and Modern Britons. David McRitchie states, in 1676, the native races of New England were spoken of indifferently as Indians and Moors, and our British Indians or Aboriginals are also remembered as Moors. It is often not talked about, but the Moors had enslaved the Europeans before they enslaved us. Their women were sold like commodities into the harems and the concubines to the wealthy noble Moors. This is the reason why the Moorish nobles were for the most part bleached out and became known as tawny Moors, Turks, and Arabs, which are no more than fixed mulatto races. The so-called Berbers and North Africans also became bleached out as a result of intermixture with Europeans over many centuries. Right here, you can see a very famous image. The European nations were paying tribute to the Moors well into the 18th century. In the book, United States and the Barbary Powers, it is said the English, French, Dutch, Danes, and Swedes, and I may say all nations, are tributary to them. David McRitchie in the book Ancient and Modern Britons. Again, you can get this book from us at mypdfbooks.com. If you want a physical copy, bindedbooks.com. Email me directly. You definitely want this literature. In Ancient and Modern Britons, it says that the word blackmail is the result of this tribute paid to the Black Army, or black oppressors, as the English referred to them. Many Europeans joined the Barbary Corsairs, from which came the term turning Turk. In this picture, we see an American captain reluctantly, however duly, delivering tribute to the Bey of Morocco. The Moors had controlled the Atlantic and the Mediterranean seas. This is why the Marines sing of defeating the Moors, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, confirming in song the extent of the Moorish Empire, or the dominions of Amexem, Atlantis. This picture clearly illustrates the Moorish power. And I'll show it again. Next, this is the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. This is the first page of the Moroccan Treaty of 1787. Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin worked closely with the Moors in the Continental Congress to secure this treaty. In the Bevins collection, there are over 200 letters to the Bey of Morocco from the Continental Congress. There were many Moors in the Continental Congress working with the European Masons, who learned Masonry from the Moors to form a Novus Ordo Seclorum, or New World Order. The Moroccan Treaty is very powerful because, according to the United States Constitution, treaties are the law of the land. This treaty specifically deals with Moors. The question then may arise, how do we know that where the treaty says Moors, that so-called black people of that time, is being referred to? To answer the previous question, let us look at a document below that was sent to me by Brother Leslie S. Bay of Boston. It is an act referred to by Dred Scott's lawyer, named Montgomery Blair. In the Dred Scott case, in order to show that our people were considered citizens or part of we the people, free inhabitants in the 13 colonies, who ratified the Constitution. It says, thus an act was passed in Massachusetts on the 6th of March, 1788, forbidding any Negro, not a subject of the Emperor of Morocco, or a citizen of the United States, from tarrying in the Commonwealth. This document shows that those who were referred to as Negroes were actually Moors, and that they, as Moors, were on the same footing or status as state citizens. One can see why it was important to get us out of our true nationality in order to enslave us. Also, in confirmation that we were the Moors referred to and included in the Moroccan Treaty of 1787, is this document given to me by Brother Shalama Yisrael and Brother Hashimi Bey. The document comes from the South Carolina House of Representatives. This document also shows that those who remembered that they were Moors were able to use the Moroccan Treaty of 1787 to secure their rights on the same footing as the state citizens, without otherwise being obligated members of their society, social equality. While those who were brainwashed into believing that they were Negroes, descendants of Africans brought here by the Europeans, were unprotected by the Moroccan Treaty, as well as the Articles of Confederation, in which we were referred to as free inhabitants. And so this shows that through the stroke of a pen, our status was taken from us, and we were labeled Negro, colored, black. This right here is a journal of the House of Representatives from 1789 to 1790. It's a petition was presented to the House from the sundry free Moors, subjects of the Emperor of Morocco. And the document says, a petition was presented to the House from sundry free Moors, subjects of the Emperor of Morocco, and residents in this state, praying that in case they should commit any fault amenable to be brought to justice, that they, as subjects to a prince in alliance with the United States of America, may be tried under the same laws as the citizens of this state would be liable to be tried, and not under the Negro Act, which was received and read. And so there were even African emperors and African nobility who understood that the shift that was going on in the Americas, and that even though they were enslaving a lot of Africans and enslaving indigenous people as well, they didn't want their people to get their ancestry, their family members to get labeled under this Negro Act. Thus you have Moors back in the 1789 saying what we say now, our nationality is Moorish and not Negro, not colored, not black. To the right, this is the Moorish emperor, Moulay Arshid, emperor Moulay Arshid. There once was an all-black army known as the Divan or Diwan. It was this Divan that put emperors in power and took them down in Morocco. To the left, this is a Moorish emir named General Bassa. The word admiral came from the Moorish word emir, which means commander or captain. I know it seems incredible that we never learned one bit of this in all our schooling, and this is by design. The history of the illustrious Moorish nation had to be hidden at all costs. Its secrets lie hidden in deep Masonic grottos. We have so much more information to bring you in the upcoming issues that we are 100% certain that your paradigm will never be the same. Just be patient and follow us on this journey through the journal of the Moorish paradigm. Each succeeding issue will build on the foundations being laid now. And right underneath, this is a letter from George Washington to the Emperor of Morocco in his own handwriting. He addresses the Bey as dear, great, magnanimous friend. And just think about this one thing, being in Washington, D.C., they call it the White House. And the capital of Morocco at one point was Casablanca, which means White House. So with so many similarities and connections with Morocco and the foundations of the United States, and 13 colonies, that you'd be foolish not to identify and understand that this Moorish history is linked directly to Black history. And it goes beyond that, because these Africans and these indigenous Americans were in battle, were at war. They became prisoners of war. They weren't all brought here from another place. And it's so much more and so much factual history to understand, and not to get lost in colonial, emotional, and just slave history. Because our people were free much longer than the colonial enslavement period. And as I said, we also had Europeans in enslavement as well. And there were even Europeans in slavery in the Americas. For it only took that one tittle of black blood to make you a colored or a Negro, which they say was the true cause of the Civil War. But I'll wrap this up reading this last part. Morocco was the first nation to recognize America after their independence. Unfortunately, the Moroccan Treaty also allowed them to set up on the eastern seaboard of the country and to enslave those who were brainwashed out of the knowledge of their Moorish ancestry with impunity for 50 years, which was supposed to be the duration of the treaty. The 50th year was supposed to be our Jubilee. Liberty was to be proclaimed, and we were to be returned to our possessions and inheritance. Unfortunately, the Europeans overthrew the remnants of Moorish power in the 1800s. And I did a reading a while back on that topic in the Barbary Wars, the Barbary Pirates. There were many battles between the founding U.S. Navy and the U.S. military and the Barbary Corsairs. Prophet Nobuju Ali was the first one to uncover the suppression of our true identity. In a sense, he was the firstborn or first resurrected of the dead. Our people, Negro or Necro, meaning dead. He himself made transition under mysterious circumstances. When he laid claim to all our land, the whole financial foundation of this country and others were at stake. 2 months after Prophet Nobuju Ali made transition in 1929, the Moorish nation, Wall Street, realized it was too late. The stock market crashed, and the United States was forced to declare bankruptcy. In 1993, a congressman stood up in Congress and said, paraphrasing, "Gentlemen, we are witnessing the greatest Chapter 11 reorganization in the history of the world, that of the United States of America. The reorganization plan was called the New Deal. The administrative state set up by the New Deal is the beast system spoken of in the book of Revelations in the end of the Bible. This and other prophecies, as well other aspects of this Moorish paradigm, will be covered in more detail in the following issues of the journal. I hope to see you then. We have much more information that will blow your mind, or should I say, your paradigm. So now, I leave you now with our divine greeting of peace, Islam. And with that, that's the volume 1 of the Moorish Paradigm. I'm thankful for everyone who tuned in and listened. As I said, we offer this book and the rest of the volumes of this book for a donation. Please reach out. That's only volume 1. Has about 13 plus volumes. We really want you all to tap in and continue with our Bbt Book Club every Friday. As I said, you can reach out to me at my email, maatsons@gmail, along with goodmancurry@gmail. If you want any of these books, also you can go to my Instagram, MyYachtSons. And before I wrap up, I will show you all some of our sponsors. Get your screen right. First and foremost, Morsachi. Let me get this thing off again. Excuse me, I'm trying to pull this on. Y'all can see this great image. Morsachi brand. If you want any regalia inspired and influenced by the Moorish Renaissance and Russian icons. One of the other images of the Morsachi brand. We also have ALO Design Pros to design your online business strategy. This is by our noble Alonzo Wright Bay, who's helped us with all our websites. So he definitely is the man to go to. He has 3 different packages, as you can see. 1 page design for $250, 3 pages for $399, and a full site for $599. So you definitely want to tap in with our noble. We're also sponsored by MoorishHaberdasher.com to get all your Moorish regalia, from fezzes to kufis to turbans, jewelry, one-stop shop. Also welcome you to check out mypdfbooks.com. See some of the topics that we offer. PDF books, reading funds the mental. If you definitely are a bibliophile or avid reader and studier, you will love this website. If you need any herbal teas or herbal remedies or books on healing and the body, you can check out our other site, herbsofmayat.com, MyYachtSons on Instagram. So we have our brother's site, BH Bay, Brian Hicks Bay Music, Transportation of Raw Materials. Great album of the Moorish Paradigm. Great positive music. Last but not least, if you want a physical copy of any of these books, go to bindedbooks.com and explore the catalog and email us if you're looking for anything specific that you might see on Amazon or any other place. We'll beat their prices. And again, we are the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. We welcome you to our book club. We do workouts every weekend, 12 noon Eastern Time. We have adept classes every Saturday. And we have Sunday school. Adept class is 1:30 Eastern Time. Adept class at Sunday school is 5 p.m. Eastern. And again, happy Holy Friday to all true light seekers, all Moors. Thank you all for tuning in. Last but not least, we want you to check out our podcast, Journey to a Knowledge of Self. Check out our YouTube page and Facebook, Bbt Science Temple. Subscribe and just check out some of our videos. We got a lot of videos, a lot of content, a lot of classes, workouts. We've been doing this for the last 3, 4, 5 years, and we just welcome brothers and sisters of all nationalities, all spiritualities to tap in, build your library with us, study with us. With that being said, I'll say peace, love, and light.
My PDF